Hello, friends. The rise of Trayvon Brazile shows just how dangerous Arkansas basketball can be. Let's see more news about this dangerous Arkansas player and more team news, but subscribe to the channel first. The rise of Trayvon Brazile clearly explains why Arkansas basketball is starting to be seen in a new light this season. Amidst a four-game winning streak that has put the Razorbacks among the most respected teams in the country, what we see on the court is more than just isolated numbers or statistics. It's the consolidation of a player who transforms the team's tactical design, expands offensive possibilities, and raises the competitive ceiling of an already talented roster. You can choose any label to define Brazile's impact: X Factor, Swiss Army knife, unicorn, or simply the player who makes the difference, and all will still seem insufficient. What he delivers to Arkansas today goes beyond the traditional role of a modern power forward. At 6'2", with rare mobility and visible confidence in his body language, Brazile has become a constant problem for any defense. When he's on the court, the game's logic changes. This dominant version didn't emerge from nowhere. Before the ACL tear that interrupted his 2022-23 season, Brazile was already on the NBA's radar, propelled by remarkable performances at the Maui Invitational. The injury, however, interrupted a growth that seemed inevitable and forced him to face a long, silent, and grueling process of physical and mental reconstruction. 3 years later, in his final year in the program, and now under the command of John Calipari, the player finally seems to have recovered, and perhaps surpassed that level that projected him nationally. His 26-point performance against Queens at Bud Walton Arena was a true reflection of this new moment, not only for the personal record, but for the way the points were built. Brazile opened the game by making his first 4 three-point attempts, all naturally, without hesitation. The fourth shot, in particular, symbolized the stage he had reached. After an offensive rebound, he received the ball from a long distance, faked a shot, attacked the defender, retreated, and converted a highly contested three-pointer. The reaction in the arena was of disbelief, almost nervous laughter. It seemed unfair. And perhaps it is. Few college players combined size, coordination, game reading, and confidence in this way. When Brazile is inspired, as Rodney Terry observed, there's no simple defensive adjustment that will solve the problem. He can punish from the outside, attack closeouts, run the court in transition, and finish above the rim. Against Queens, in addition to the three-pointers, there were dunks, fast break layups, and physical dominance at key moments. The final shooting percentage, 9 of 11 from the field, 5 of 7 from beyond the arc, reinforced the feeling that the opposing defense was always one step behind. This performance wasn't an outlier. Days earlier in Dallas, Brazile had scored 24 points and grabbed 10 rebounds against Texas Tech in a significant away win, a performance that earned him the SEC Player of the Week award. In both games, the pattern repeated itself. Space conceded became immediate punishment. When the opponent retreats, he shoots. When they pressure, he attacks. The margin for error simply disappears. For John Calipari, having such a rising player changes the scope of the project. Arkansas already draws attention with freshmen Darius Acuff and Malik Thomas, two explosive talents who offer instant scoring and dynamism to the roster. Brazile's presence, however, creates balance. He not only expands the team's technical potential, but also adds maturity to a young group. In a roster full of promising players, his fifth-year experience acts as an emotional and competitive anchor. This impact goes beyond what appears on the box scoreboard. Inside the locker room, Brazile represents stability. For teammates like Billy Richmond, his on-court confidence reflects exactly what the team needed in a veteran, someone who takes responsibility, responds in big moments, and shows by example the standard required to compete at a high level. Even with all this, the coaching staff believes there's still room for growth. Kenny Payne, Calipari's assistant, reinforces that Brazile's ceiling has not been reached. The statement doesn't sound like a demand, but rather an observation.
If he already decides games by scoring efficiently, he can still have a greater impact on rebounds, defensive versatility, and consistency throughout the season. It's an encouraging scenario for a team that is beginning to understand its own potential. The truth is simple. When Trayvon Brazile plays at this level, Arkansas becomes truly dangerous. Leave your comments. It's important.